The earth fell heavily on the coffin. Each handful seemed to rip out a piece of my soul. I held the black umbrella with shaking hands, feeling the fine rain wet my face along with the tears that I could no longer hold back. Mariana was down there. My Mariana, my companion of 42 years. The woman who held my hand when I was just a bricklayer with no future, who believed in me when no one else did. And now she's gone. The pastor finished his last words. I could barely hear. Everything around me seemed distant, as if I were underwater. I saw people's mouths moving, but the sounds didn't reach me. Just the sound of rain, and the sound of the earth falling. That damn sound I'll never forget. But it wasn't the pain of loss that broke me at that moment. That's what happened when my grandson, little Gabriel, just 8 years old, discreetly approached me while everyone was crying around the grave. He wore a black suit that was too big for him. His eyes were red from crying. He loved his grandmother more than anything. Gabriel looked around nervously, checking if no one was paying attention. I saw the fear in his eyes, a fear that an 8-year-old should not know. Then he held my hand, but it was not a gesture of comfort. He slipped something between my fingers, a folded paper. Kid, needed. Grandpa, he whispered so low that I almost didn't hear it because of the rain. Grandma told me to give you this. She said it was a secret, that I could only give you when she... His voice broke. He couldn't finish it. Tears ran down his face as he squeezed my hand tightly, as if he was asking for forgiveness for something. Don't tell anyone, okay? He begged with his eyes wide with fear. She made me promise. And now I promise you again. Please, Grandpa, please. Before I could respond anything, a voice cut through the air like a blade. Gabriel, come here now. It was Patricia, my daughter-in-law. She stood a few feet away, her arms crossed, her face hard as stone beneath the expensive umbrella she held. Her eyes bored into Gabriel with an anger that chilled my spine. The boy shook all over. I'm coming, Mom, he said in a thin voice. I said it now, she shouted, and several people turned to look. Gabriel let go of me and ran away, stumbling in the mud. Patricia grabbed his arm so hard that the boy gave a small cry of pain. She leaned down and whispered something in his ear. I couldn't hear what it was, but I saw Gabriel turn pale. He nodded, quickly, terrified. I stood there, holding that folded piece of paper in my fist, feeling my heart race. What was that? Why had Mariana left a secret note with Gabriel? And why had Patricia reacted that way? I put the paper in my jacket pocket without looking. I couldn't. Not there. Not at that moment. But a strange, heavy feeling was already beginning to squeeze my chest like a vice. Something was wrong. Very wrong. My name is Roberto Santos. I'm 63 years old and black. This has always made a difference in my life, whether I wanted it to or not. I worked my whole life as a bricklayer, starting when I was 14, because my father died, and someone had to support my mother and brothers. I carried bags of cement in the scorching sun, climbed scaffolding in the rain, cut my hands on rough brick, but I never complained. Honest work does not humiliate anyone. At 25, he was already a master builder. At 43, with a lot of sweat and savings, I set up my own small construction company. I've never been rich. I never had a great car or a house on the beach, but I managed to give my family a decent life. I raised my son Lucas with Mariana, giving him everything I didn't have: a good study, new clothes, plenty of food on the table. Mariana was my rock. We met when she worked as a cleaner in a building I was renovating. She was 18, I was 21. I fell in love on the first day. She was beautiful, with that smile that lit up any room, but what really won me over was her strength. Mariana was a warrior, never gave up on anything. We got married 3 months later. My mother said I was crazy, that I was too fast, but I knew. When you find the right person, you know. Lucas was born a year later. My pride, my everything. I promised myself that he would have a better life than mine, and I did. I paid for private school, courses, business school. He graduated at 22 and came to work with me at the construction company. I was happy. I thought, I did it. I broke the cycle. My son will have a better future. But there was one thing I didn't understand, or I didn't want to notice. Lucas was ashamed of me. I remember the first time I noticed. It was at a meeting with a big client, a rich businessman who wanted to build a condominium. Lucas was presenting the project. He was impeccable. Expensive suit, tidy hair, speaking beautifully, using difficult words. I was sitting next to him, wearing a simple dress shirt and jeans. I had just come from a construction site and still had a little dust on my sleeve. The client looked at me and asked, "And you are the..." "I'm the owner of the construction company," I replied with a smile, extending my hand. "Roberto Santos. Pleasure." The man shook my hand quickly, without enthusiasm, and turned his attention to Lucas. "It's good that the new generation is taking over," he said. "Modern management is the future. Do you agree, Lucas?" "Definitely," Lucas replied, and I noticed that he didn't look at me once. Afterwards, in the car, I tried to talk. Son, you presented well. I just think I could have included myself more in the conversation. After all, I have known construction for 40 years. I can help with— Dad, you don't understand? He cut me off, irritated. This type of client doesn't want to talk to a builder. They want someone who speaks their language. Someone with an MBA, understand? But I'm the owner. On paper, yes. But who do they see when they look at you? He looked at me with a hardness that broke me. They see an old bricklayer. Sorry to be direct, but it's the truth. I swallowed hard. I didn't respond, but that hurt more than any insult from a stranger. Mariana noticed. She always noticed. He didn't mean it like that. She tried to console me that night. Lucas is just nervous about business. He's ashamed of me, Mariana, I said, my voice breaking. Our son is ashamed of his father. Don't say that, love. He loves you. Sometimes young people are insensitive, but he will understand. It will value you, I am sure. I wanted to believe, but deep down, I knew. That was just the beginning. If things got worse when Lucas married Patricia. She was a lawyer, daughter of a rich judge, beautiful, elegant, full of poise. From day one, she looked down on me, as if I were an old piece of furniture that didn't match the new decor. The first time she came to our house at Sunday lunch, she looked around with barely concealed contempt. How long have you lived here? She asked, touching the sofa as if she was disgusted. 25 years, Mariana replied, proudly. Roberto built this house with his own hands. Every brick. How rustic. Patricia smiled, but it wasn't a real smile. During lunch, she barely touched her food. Sorry, Dona Mariana, but I have dietary restrictions, she said. I don't eat fried food, not even carbohydrates at night. I'm on a supervised diet. Lucas didn't say anything. He just nodded like an obedient puppy. I looked at Mariana and saw the pain in her eyes. She had spent the entire morning cooking. He made the best chicken in town, farofa, rice, beans, everything done with love. It's okay, my daughter, Mariana said with that politeness of hers. I can make you a salad. It is not necessary. I brought my fit lunchbox. Patricia took an expensive lunchbox out of her bag and started eating, completely ignoring the food on the table. It was a silent humiliation. After they left, I hugged Mariana as she cried in the kitchen. Why did she do that? Mariana sobbed. What did I do wrong? You didn't do anything. I grabbed her face. She's the bad one, but our son will understand. He will, but he never noticed. Or worse, he knew and didn't care. Asuntoarda Gabriel was born 2 years after the wedding, and that boy became the light of our lives. Mariana and I loved that grandson as if he were our own son. Every weekend he stayed with us. I taught him how to fly a kite, play ball, fix things. Mariana baked cake, told stories, hugged him until he fell asleep. Grandpa, when I grow up I want to be just like you, Gabriel said once, with those little eyes shining. Like me? Laughs. Why, boy? Because you build houses. It makes things appear out of nowhere. It's like magic. My heart swelled with love, but Patricia hated it when Gabriel stayed with us. He comes back from there talking wrong, Lucas. I heard her complain once. He speaks slang, has poor manners. I don't pay for expensive schooling for him to become a bricklayer. Lucas laughed. He laughed at his father's profession. Mariana cried when I told her. How did we raise a son like that? She asked, desperate. Where did I go wrong? You didn't make a mistake, love. He chose the wrong path, but the pain was there. Mariana was never the same after that. Until 3 weeks ago, when Mariana started to feel sick. It was sudden. She was well, healthy, full of life at 60 years old. There was never anything serious, just a little high blood pressure, controlled with medication. Every day she took the pill in the morning exactly. Lucas bought it at the pharmacy and brought it to her. Mom, you need to take it right, okay? He said, handing over the new card. High blood pressure is no joke. Mariana smiled, proud to have a son who cared. But from one moment to the next, everything changed. She began to have attacks of dizziness, vomiting, extreme weakness. He fainted out of nowhere. He had mental confusion. I was sweating cold during the night. Must be the pressure, Dad, Lucas said when I called him in a panic. Sometimes the medicine needs to be adjusted. Take her to the doctor. I took it. Dr. Henrique, the family doctor who had known us for years, quickly examined her, very quickly. It's a virus, Roberto, he said without even looking at her, already signing the prescription. There's an epidemic going on there. Give these medicines here. She improves in 2-3 days. But doctor, she's very weak. Can't even get out of bed. It's normal. The virus leaves the person like that. Rest, hydration. Ready. He practically pushed me out of the office. But she didn't get better. It got worse. With each passing day, Mariana lost weight. Her skin turned yellow. The sunken eyes. She vomited everything she ate. Sometimes I didn't recognize myself. He called for people who had been dead for years. Roberto, where are you? She screamed in the middle of the night, scared, even with me holding her hand. I'm scared. Don't let me die. Please. I begged, cried, asked Lucas to help me admit her. Dad, you're exaggerating, he said on the phone, always impatient. She's already been to the doctor. It's just a virus. It will pass. But son, she's dying. I know she's dying. You've always been dramatic. His voice was cold, distant. Patricia also thinks it's an exaggeration of yours. You get nervous and make your mother nervous. This is bad for her pressure. I just want you to see. We have work, Dad, he exploded. I'm running the construction company alone while you stay there playing nurse. Someone has to work in this family. He hung up on me. I stood there holding the phone, feeling like the most useless human being on the planet. In the last week, Lucas and Patricia showed up at home twice. At first, Lucas brought the new blood pressure medicine. I got a stronger formula, he said, handing over the box. The doctor said he will fix it. Mariana took it. 2 hours later, she had a seizure so bad that I thought I was going to lose her right there. On the second visit, Patricia brought soup. I did it with love, she said with a little smile. To help you regain your strength. It was a lie. I saw the restaurant packaging in the trash afterwards, but I didn't say anything. I just wanted Mariana to get better. She ate the soup. He vomited blood all night. Roberto, I'm going to die. She told me that last morning, her voice weak. I feel it. My body is giving up. Don't talk like that, I begged, holding her in my arms. Tomorrow we're going to the hospital. I don't care about Lucas. I'll take you even if he doesn't want to. Promise me something, she whispered. Anything, love. Take care of Gabriel. Don't leave him alone with. She didn't finish. He closed his eyes, breathing hard. With whom, Mariana? I asked, desperate. With whom? But she had already fainted. The next morning, when I woke up, Mariana was cold next to me. My wife had died during the night alone while I slept without knowing that it would be our last night together. I screamed. I screamed so much that the neighbors called the ambulance, but it was too late. The wake was quick, too fast. Lucas organized everything in record time. The body had barely cooled down and he had already chosen the funeral home, the coffin, the flowers, the time. It's better this way, Dad, he said when I asked. The faster it is, the less we suffer. The lady has already left. Now it's time to let her rest in peace. I was so broken that I let him decide everything. I didn't have the strength to question. I could barely stand. But there was one thing that bothered me deeply. At the wake, I wanted them to do an autopsy. I wanted to understand why Mariana died like that so quickly, without a clear medical explanation. Autopsy? Lucas looked at me as if I had gone crazy. Dad, you died of natural causes. The death certificate is ready. Dr. Henrique signed everything. It was a complication of high blood pressure. Why do you want to prolong this suffering? But son, she was fine a month ago. How can you suddenly? She was not okay. He almost shouted at me right there in front of the coffin in front of everyone. You didn't want to see it. She had hypertension rolled. You killed her with so much stress, with so much work that you put on her entire life. The people around stopped talking. They kept looking at me. I felt humiliation burn my throat. I tried to speak, but my voice wouldn't come out. I always took care. Did you take care? Lucas laughed contemptuously. You made her work like a slave. Cleaning the house, cooking, taking care of construction, never had a day of rest. And now you want to do an autopsy for what? To prove that you are not guilty? Lucas, your father is suffering. An aunt tried to intervene. It's not time. It's time. He turned to her. Someone has to tell the truth. My mother died because no one took care of her properly. Patricia was next to him, arms crossed, nodding her head. Lucas is right, Roberto, she said in that sweet and poisonous voice. You could have taken better care of her. I could have given her a better life. Now there's no point trying to make drama about autopsies and things like that. Let the poor thing rest in peace. I stood there, paralyzed, feeling people look at me with pity, or worse, with judgment. Were they right? Had I killed Mariana? The guilt destroyed me inside. Now, at the cemetery, with the rain falling heavily and my wife's coffin already covered in dirt, I moved away a little. I waited for everyone to start to disperse. Lucas and Patricia were already leaving, pulling Gabriel by the hand. The boy looked back, looking for me with his eyes, but Patricia pulled him tightly. No one cared that I was still there, alone, beside the grave of the woman I loved for over 40 years. With my hands shaking, I reached into my wet pocket and took out the note Gabriel had given me. I unfolded the paper slowly. The ink had smudged a little from the humidity, but it was still readable. The lyrics were by Mariana, shaky, uneven, but it was hers. I recognized it right away, and when I read the words written there, my world collapsed for the second time in 7 days. Roberto, forgive me for not being strong enough to tell you before. They are killing me. The medicine that Lucas brings is not the blood pressure medicine. I saw him changing the pills in the kitchen. I thought I was sleeping, but I saw everything. I tried to tell you, but there was always someone around. I don't know what it is, but I know it's hurting me. Gabriel knows that this paper exists, but he doesn't know what it says. Protect him. I trust only you and the Gabriel. Investigate this. Don't let them win. Don't leave our grandson alone with these monsters. I love you. I always loved it. I loved you from day one and I will love you forever. Sorry for leaving you alone. You're Mariana. My legs gave out. I fell to my knees in the wet cemetery mud, holding that soggy paper as if it were the only real thing in the world. My son, my own son, had murdered his mother, and I, like an old idiot blinded by trust, helped without knowing it. I gave her the poison with my own hands, thinking I was taking care of her. Sobs tore from my throat. I hugged the wet earth over Mariana's coffin and cried like I had never cried in my life. Sorry, love, I whispered to the grave. I'm sorry I didn't understand. Sorry for trusting him. I'm sorry for not protecting you. The rain was falling hard, but it wasn't strong enough to wash away the pain. It wasn't strong enough to wash the blood off my son's hands. Persimro, what did Lucas put in Mariana's medicine? Why would he kill his own mother? What else are they hiding from me? And how am I going to protect Gabriel from these people? I came home in a taxi because I couldn't drive. My hands were shaking so much that I could barely hold the ticket in my pocket. The driver tried to start a conversation, but gave up when he saw my condition. I was soaked, covered in mud. My eyes were red. The house was empty, silent. For the first time in 42 years, I didn't have Mariana waiting for me. I entered slowly, as if I were invading someone else's home. Everything was the same, but everything seemed dead now, as if the soul of the house had left with it. I went straight to the room. I sat on the bed where Mariana died. I hugged the pillow that still smelled like her and let the tears fall. But then I picked up the note again. I read it again, and again. The medicine Lucas brings is not the blood pressure medicine. I saw him changing the pills. I got up on impulse. I went to the bathroom where Mariana kept the medicine. I opened the cabinet with my hands shaking. There it was, the card that Lucas had brought 3 days ago. I still had 4 pills. I took the box. I read the packaging. Losartan 50 mg for high blood pressure. It seemed normal, but Mariana had said that Lucas changed the pills. I took out my cell phone and researched what real Losartan was like. My heart raced. The pills were different. The color was heavily different. The marking was different. That wasn't blood pressure medicine. My legs wobbled. I sat on the cold bathroom floor, holding that killer card in my hands. My son had given poison to his own mother, and I had helped. I had put the pill in her mouth with my own hands. Nadu, Kong, I stayed there on the floor for how long? I don't know. All I know is that when I got up, it was already dark outside. I kept the card in a safe place, inside a toolbox at the bottom of the wardrobe. Then I went to the kitchen. I wasn't hungry, just thirst and an anger that was beginning to boil inside me. Why did Luke do this? This question was ringing in my head nonstop. Why? Money? Heritage? I sat at the kitchen table and tried to think clearly. Lucas was a partner with 30% of the construction company's shares. I had 70%. The house was worth 200,000 or 300,000, and there was Mariana's life insurance, 200,000 reais. But if Mariana died first, the insurance came to me. Lucas won nothing, so unless I was next. The blood froze in my veins, and that night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking, remembering, trying to fit the pieces together. 2 months ago, Lucas had taken me to a lawyer. He said it was to organize the construction company's documentation. I signed some papers without reading them properly. I trusted him. What if this wasn't about the construction company? What if it was a will, proxy, transfer of assets? I got out of bed and went through the office drawers looking for copies of the documents. Nothing. Lucas had taken everything. Then I remembered. He had asked for my bank password 3 weeks ago. Dad, you need to update the app, he said. Give me the password and I'll solve it for you. And I, like an old donkey who trusted his son, passed. I picked up the cell phone with shaking hands. I opened the bank app. I logged into the account. I looked at the balance. 17,000 reais. But it had to be at least 80,000. It was what I had collected over the last few months. I went to the extract. I saw transfers. Several large transfers. 20,000 for an account I didn't know. 15,000 for someone else. 30,000 for another. All authorized by me. But I didn't authorize anything. Lucas had stolen my money. I woke up sitting in that office chair looking at my cell phone, feeling a mixture of pain and hatred that I had never felt in my life. My son had poisoned my wife, stolen my money, and probably forged my signature. And I had left, because I trusted him, because he was my son, because I thought that after everything I did, he loved me. But he didn't love, never loved. It was at that moment that I started to remember how Lucas was different from what I imagined. I remember the time he won an award for best student. I cried with pride. I hugged him so tight that he complained, Dad, you're crushing me, he laughed. Sorry, son. It's just that I'm very happy, very proud of you. But I also remember when we bought our first car, an old Gall. I called Lucas to see. What's up, son? How about that? He looked at the car with contempt. Is that all? Rodrigo's father bought him a new Civic. Do you have a construction company and buy a Gall? Lucas. Mariana was hurt. Respect your father. He shrugged and walked into the house. Mariana looked at me with tears in her eyes. What's happening to our son? It's age, I said. Teenagers are like that. Raisin. But it didn't happen. It only got worse. My cell phone rang. It was Lucas. I watched the device ring, my heart racing. Answered. Hello? Dad, are you okay there? His voice sounded worried. I'm fine. Did you eat anything? He slept? What a careful son. What a lie. I wasn't able to. I imagine, Father. Me either. He sighed. Look, Patricia and I are going to bring you lunch later, okay? No need, son. We insist. Oh, and Dad, there is a paper you need to sign. It's about the mother's inventory. Nothing much, just protocol. I'll take it along. Ready. There it was. He came with more papers for me to sign. More documents to steal what was left from me. Better resolve it soon, Dad. These notary things have a deadline. Okay, Lucas. Until later. I hung up. I stood there thinking. They would come here. Today. Bringing lunch and papers to sign. Would the food be poisoned too? I went to the kitchen and started looking for more clues. I opened Mariana's medicine cabinet again. In addition to the fake losartan, there were other medications. And then I found a little box at the bottom of the closet that I didn't recognize. There was no Mariana's name on the recipe. She had another name, Ana Paula Ferreira. I opened the box. Inside were identical white pills, unique to those who were on the fake losartana card. I took out my cell phone and searched for the name of the medicine. What I read made my stomach turn. It was a veterinary medicine, used for euthanasia of large animals. In small doses, it caused kidney failure, vomiting, mental confusion, and death from cardiac arrest. Exactly Mariana's symptoms. My son had poisoned his mother with animal-killing medicine. I ran to the bathroom and vomited until only bile came out. When I managed to get up, I washed my face and looked in the mirror. The man looking back at me was destroyed, but there was something new in that look. He was angry, a cold anger I had never felt before. My son would pay. I went back to the room and looked for Mariana's cell phone. Lucas had said he was going to drop it, but I asked him to stay. He didn't like it, but he delivered. I turned on the cell phone. I started looking at the conversations. Nothing very relevant. But then I saw a deleted conversation with Lucas. Mariana was smart. She always backed up to the cloud. I logged into her account using our wedding date as the password. There it was. Backup from 3 days before she died. I downloaded the file. I restored the conversations. And I started reading. 3 weeks ago, conversation with Lucas Mariana. I feel strange about this new medicine. I get dizzy. Lucas. It's normal at first. Then it passes. Keep taking it. 2 weeks ago. Mariana. I'm not well. I think this medicine is hurting me. Lucas. It's an impression. Keep taking it. Mariana. But son, I'm vomiting every day. Lucas. It's high blood pressure, Mom. That's why medicine is important. A week ago. Mariana. I'm not going to take this medicine anymore. Lucas. You're being ridiculous. Take your medicine or I'll stop visiting. 5 days ago. Mariana. Lucas. I saw you in the kitchen yesterday. I saw you change the pills in the pack. Message viewed but not responded to. Mariana. What are you doing to me? No response. Mariana. If you don't answer me, I'll tell your father. Lucas. You're not going to say anything. You are confused because of your high blood pressure. He's having hallucinations, I'm going to admit you. Mariana. No, I'm not crazy. I saw. Lucas. No one will believe a sick old woman. I stopped reading. My son had threatened his mother. He had called her crazy. He had tried to make her doubt her own sanity. I was going to believe it, love. I whispered to Mariana, who was no longer there. I always believe in you. I saved everything. I took a printout of all the conversations. I sent it to my email. I saved it in a hidden folder. He needed more proof before acting, because if I confronted Lucas now, he would find a way to destroy me too. I called Dr. Armando's office, the lawyer I had seen 2 months ago. Good morning, Dr. Armando. This is Roberto Santos. I need a copy of the documents I signed there. Silence on the other side. Roberto, I can't do that. How can you not? These are my documents. I can't legally give you a copy without Lucas's authorization. My blood ran cold. What do you mean by Lucas's authorization? You signed a full power of attorney for him. He has powers over his assets and legal decisions. The ground disappeared beneath my feet. And what else did I sign that day? Dr. Armando hesitated. Roberto, I really can't. Dr. Arming, please. I screamed, desperate. What else did I sign? A long silence. Then he sighed. You signed the transfer of 70% of the construction company's shares to Lucas. and a change in the will, leaving all assets in his name, and a power of attorney that allows him to operate his accounts, sell his properties, everything. I collapsed into the chair. And when is this valid? It already has, since the day you signed. Lucas legally owns almost everything now. I hung up the phone. Ready. Now I knew why. Lucas killed Mariana because she was going to find out everything, and stole everything from me while I was blinded by trust. I no longer owned anything, not even my own life. And my son stole my company, my house, my money, and now I'm the next target. If he comes here today with papers to sign or food, it will be the end of me. I need to act. But how? Who will believe an old bricklayer against a trained administrator, married to a judge's daughter? I got off the phone with Dr. Armando and stood there processing everything. I no longer owned anything. My construction company, my house, my money, everything was in Lucas's name now. But there was one thing he couldn't steal from me. The truth. I had proof. Mariana's note. The fake medicine. The veterinary medicine. WhatsApp conversations. All of this kept in different places. Hidden. Protected. Now I needed more. He erupted something so strong that not even the father-in-law of Patricia could drown out. I looked at the clock. 9 in the morning. Lucas and Patricia would come at noon. I had 3 hours. The first thing I did was call Dona Conceição, our 30-year-old neighbor. She was a lady in the 9 years widow who lived alone in the house next door. Mariana and she were close friends. They had coffee together every afternoon. Dona Conceição, here's Roberto. Ah, Roberto. My son, how are you? I'm so sad about Mariana. She was a saint. Her voice embarked and I felt my chest tighten. I know, Dona Conceição, I know. Look, can you come here quickly? I need to talk about something important. Of course, my son. I'm already going there. 5 minutes later, she was in my room. I offered coffee, but she refused. He sat on the couch and looked at me with those eyes full of kindness and concern. What is it, Roberto? You have a terrible face. I took a deep breath. I didn't even know where to start. Dona Conceição, you trusted Mariana, right? Of course, she was my friend, my heart sister. And if she had told something to the lady, something serious, would you tell me? Dona Conceição was tense, her eyes filled with tears. Roberto, I promised her that I wasn't going to tell. My heart fired. Do you know something? She began to cry softly, cleaning tears with trembling hands. She asked me not to speak. He said he was going to tell you herself. But then she... Please, Dona Conceição. I held her hands. I need to know. Please. She looked at me in the eye for a long moment. Then he sighed deep. 3 days before she died, Mariana came here at dawn. I was terrified. He said Lucas was poisoning her. I closed my eyes. Another confirmation. And what else did she say? Said he saw him switching the medicines. Who tried to confront him, but he threatened her. He said he was going to hospitalize her in a hospice if she said something. Dona Conceição sobbed now. I told her to go to the police, but she was afraid. I was afraid no one believed. I was afraid of what they were going to do with the Lord and Gabriel. Gabriel? What does Gabriel have? She said if she denounced Lucas, Patricia was going to get Gabriel out of your life forever. It was going to make up some excuse, some accusation, and with her father being judge. I understood everything. Mariana was in a trap. If he denounced, he would lose his grandson. If it did not report, it would die. And she chose to try to warn me through Gabriel. A secret ticket. Her last hope. Dona Conceição, can you witness this? If needed? She trembled entirely. Roberto, I'm afraid. Very fear. Patricia's father is a powerful man. If I speak, I know, and I will not force you to anything. But if the time comes, if it's the only way to do justice for Mariana, she took a deep breath and nodded. If it's to honor my friend, I speak. I testify. I hugged Dona Conceição and let her go. Now I had one more witness, one more piece in the puzzle. The second person I needed to confront was Dr. Henrique. I took the car and drove to his clinic. I did not make an appointment. I didn't warn. I only entered and said to the receptionist, I need to talk to Dr. Henrique. It is urgent. Do you have scheduled time? No, but he will want to answer me. It says it is about the death certificate of Mariana Santos. The girl was pale. He took the phone and spoke softly to someone. Then he looked at me nervously. The doctor will receive you now. You can enter. I entered the office. Dr. Henrique was behind the white lab coat with that important doctor face. But when he saw me, I realized something in his eyes. Fear. Roberto, my condolences. I'm sorry for Mariana. I closed the door behind me and locked it. Unlock this door, Roberto, he said, his voice tense. What are you doing? My wife died after 3 weeks of suffering. The Lord said it was a virus. And it was. I diagnosed as... The Lord lied, I shouted, hitting the table. You signed the death certificate without even examining the right body. Why? How much did Lucas paid for the Lord? Dr. Henrique raised, scared. I don't know what you are talking about. Get out of my office or I call security. Flame! I shouted. Call security, call the police, call everyone, because I will denounce the Lord for medical negligence. I will prove that you helped my son kill my wife. He got white like paper. I didn't help anyone kill anyone. So why didn't you ask for autopsy? Why didn't she internal her? Why didn't you investigate? Dr. Henrique sat back on, running his hands on his face. He was sweating. Roberto, I just did what they asked for. Who asked? Lucas? Sil answer, he paid me. Dr. Henrique exploded. It's okay? He paid me 20,000 rays so I wouldn't investigate too much. He said that his mother was suffering too much, that it was better to let her go in peace, that she didn't need an autopsy. 20,000 rays. My own stolen money had been used to buy the doctor's silence. Did you know she was being poisoned? No. I swear I didn't know. He was crying now. I thought he just wanted to avoid bureaucracy. Rich people do this straight away. I didn't know that there was a crime involved, but you were suspicious. And he didn't do anything. He hung his head, defeated. I need this money. My clinic is in debt. I was wrong, but I'm not a killer. I looked at that pathetic man crying in front of him and felt disgusted. You will testify. You're going to tell everything Lucas asked you, and he will return this dirty money. What if I don't? Then I go to the press, the medical council, the police, and you lose everything. Not just the money. Lose CRM. Lose your freedom. Dr. Henrique looked at me with mixed hatred and fear. You have no proof of anything. I have the medicines that Lucas gave to Mariana. I have conversations. I have witnesses. And now I have you admitting that it was bought. I took out my cell phone and showed it to him. I had recorded everything. He turned white again. This is illegal. Record without authorization. And accepting bribes to cover up murder is legal? I got up and went towards the door. You choose. Either stay on the right side of this story or go down with Lucas. I unlocked it and left, leaving it there, destroyed. When I got home, it was almost 11:30. Lucas and Patricia would arrive soon. I needed to prepare. I took another shower. I changed my clothes. I tried to look normal. I tried to appear like old Roberto, the silly, confident, easy-to-manipulate father. But inside, I was boiling. The noon sharp, the doorbell rang. I took a deep breath. It was time to pretend. I opened the door. Lucas was there smiling, holding a bag with lunchboxes. Patricia beside him, elegant as always, with that fake smile. Hi, Dad. We brought lunch. Hi, son. Thanks. Enter. They entered. Gabriel was not with them. Where's Gabriel? I asked, trying to sound casual. We left it at my mother's house, Patricia replied. We think it's better. Children don't need to see their grandfather suffering, right? Or the child could no longer give secret messages from his grandfather. I understand. We went to the kitchen. Lucas started taking the lunchboxes out of the bag. Food that looked expensive, from a fancy restaurant. Dad, you need to eat, okay? It's very thin. I looked at the food. Was there poison there too? Was this how they were going to kill me? The same way they killed Mariana. Thank you, but I'm not hungry. Lucas frowned. Dad, you can't go without eating. It's been 2 days. I'll eat later. Patricia and Lucas exchanged a look that I understood perfectly. They were angry that I hadn't eaten. Well, then at least sign the papers while we're here, Lucas said, taking a folder out of his bag. It's about the inventory. It needs to be resolved soon. I took the folder. I opened it. I started reading, and what I saw made my blood boil. It wasn't inventory. It was authorization to sell the house. My house. The house I built with my own hands. This isn't inventory, I said, my voice shaking with controlled anger. This is a sales authorization. Lucas didn't even blink. It's part of the process, Dad. We need to liquidate the mother's assets to share them. The house is in my name and hers. Half is mine, and we are respecting that. You will receive your share when you sell. I don't want to sell. I live here. Patricia sighed, impatient. Mr. Roberto, you are unable to maintain this house alone. It's too big, too expensive. The best thing is to sell, split the money, and you can rent a smaller apartment. More practical. I am not selling my house. Lucas slammed his hand on the table. The Lord will do what I tell you, he shouted, and for the first time the mask fell completely. The loving son disappeared. Instead there was a stranger, a monster. Sign that damn thing, old man. Sign or what? I challenged, getting up too. Or will you kill me like you killed your mother? Silence. Dead silence. Lucas turned pale. Patricia gasped. What? What did you say? Lucas stammered. I know everything. I know about the fake medicine. I know about the poison. I know you poisoned your mother for 3 weeks until she died. Patricia jumped up. Lucas, he's crazy. See, I told you he was going to freak out. I'm not crazy. I took my cell phone. I have proof. I have the note that Mariana left. I have the medicine you gave her. I have WhatsApp conversations where you threatened her. Lucas advanced on me, furious only. Give me that phone. Get away. I shouted, pushing him. That's when Patricia took a knife from the sink. No one will believe a delusional old man, she said, her voice cold, dangerous. You're in shock over your wife's death. He's having hallucinations, he's making up stories. Keep that knife, Patricia. Or what? Are you going to call the police? She laughed. My father is justice. He knows every police chief, every judge, every prosecutor in this city. Do you think anyone will believe you? You, an old black poor bricklayer? The way she said black made me understand everything. For her, I wasn't a person. I never went. Give Lucas your cell phone. Now. She pointed the knife at me. Are you going to kill me too? Here? At home? There's no need to kill, Lucas said, taking the papers from the table. We admit him, out of insanity, due to a psychotic break. Dr. Henrique signs the report. Patricia's father signs the court order. And you spend the rest of your life miserable in a psychiatric clinic, old man. It was at that moment that I understood. They weren't going to kill me. They were going to bury me alive, lock me in a madhouse and erase me from existence, and they would have everything. You won't make it, I said, backing away slowly. We already did it. Patricia smiled. You already signed everything. You have nothing, neither money, nor house, nor company. You are nothing. Lucas advanced again, but this time I ran. I ran to the back door. I managed to go out to the backyard. I heard them screaming behind me. Come back here, old man. I jumped over the back wall, fell on the other side, hurt my knee, but I kept running for my life. I heard Lucas shout from inside. This doesn't end here. The Lord is dead. Are you hearing me? Dead. I ran to Dona Conceição's house. I knocked on the door, desperate. She opened it, scared. Roberto, what happened? Hide me, please. They want to admit me. They want to kill me. She pulled me inside and locked the door. I sat on the floor of her living room, shaking, bleeding from my knee, holding my cell phone as if it were my only salvation. Because it was. It was the only proof I had left. And now Lucas knew I had. They will come after me. They're going to catch me. They're going to lock me in a madhouse and throw away the key. How will I prove that I'm not crazy? How am I going to get justice for Mariana if I have nothing left? If they have a judge, doctor, lawyer, everything on their side? I spent the night at Dona Conceição's house. She fed me, cleaned my bad knee, and let me sleep in the guest room. But I could barely close my eyes. Every noise on the street made me jump. Every car that passed could have been Lucas coming to pick me up. Early in the morning, Dona Conceição knocked on the door. Roberto, are you awake? Yeah. She came in with a cup of coffee and sat on the edge of the bed. I'm scared, my son. Very scared. If they find out you're here, I know, and I won't put you in danger. I'm leaving early in the morning. Where to? Good question. Where could an old man with no money, no home, persecuted by his own son go? I don't know yet, but I'll find out. Dona Conceição looked at me with those eyes full of concern and courage at the same time. Do you know who can help you? Pastor Vinicius. Pastor Vinicius. Of course, he was the pastor of the church that Mariana and I attended 15 years ago. A man of integrity, fair, who was not afraid to face powerful people. Do you have his phone number? I have. What's more, he knows a very good lawyer, Dr. Augusto. He has already helped several people in the congregation with family problems. For the first time in days, I felt a spark of hope. Osier. Early in the morning at 6 o'clock, I secretly left Dona Conceição's house. I wore a cap and sunglasses that she lent me. I took a bus to the church. Pastor Vinicius lived at the back of the temple, in a simple house. I knocked on the door. He opened it in his bathrobe, surprised. Roberto, my brother, what a scare. Come in, come in. I entered. The house smelled like fresh coffee. His wife, Dona Nusa, was making breakfast. Pastor, I need help. Urgent. We sat at the kitchen table and I told him everything. Every detail. The note, the medicine, the conversations, the confrontation, the escape. I showed the evidence on my cell phone. Pastor Vinicius turned pale. Dona Nusa cried, My God, Lucas, I baptized that boy, the pastor said, his voice breaking. How can a child become like that? I don't understand either, Pastor, but now I need to do justice for Mariana and protect Gabriel. Gabriel, is he in danger? Okay, he knows about the note. If Lucas and Patricia find out that he gave me that, I don't know what they're capable of doing. Pastor Vinicius stood up, determined. I'm going to call Dr. Augusto now. This man is a lion. If anyone can help you, it's him. An hour later, I was in Dr. Augusto Mendes's office. A man in blacks of 50 years. Gray hair, glasses, simple suit but well spent. The office was small but organized, full of law books. He greeted me firmly. Roberto, the pastor told me everything by phone, but I want to hear from your mouth. Calmly. Don't omit anything. I told you all over again. Each word, each proof, every detail. He was doing notes, asking me to repeat some parts, questioning dates and facts. When I finished, he was silent for a long moment. Then he sighed deep. Roberto, I'll be frank with you. This is difficult. Very difficult. Lucas's father-in-law is judge, has influence. It can stifle it easy. My heart sank. So you have nothing to do? I didn't say that. He leaned forward, his eyes firmly on mine. I said it's hard, but not impossible. If we do it right, with solid evidence in public, in a way we cannot hide, we turn this game. How? First, we need more evidence. The ticket is good, but it can be contested. WhatsApp conversations are strong. The false medicine is excellent, but it needs expertise. The neighboring witness helps, but she is afraid. The doctor confessing that it was bribed is great, but he can go back. So what do? We use it all, but with a strategy. Let's make a formal complaint to the police, but not at any police station. There is a delegate that I know, Dr. Mario Alves, who does not sell himself. It's straight, and let's do it publicly. Public how? Dr. Augusto smiled in a way that gave me goosebumps. There is an assembly of the construction company scheduled for the 20s, 3 days from now. I saw in the documents the Lord showed me. It is the annual assembly of shareholders. I didn't even know that, because Lucas didn't tell you. He is waiting for the Lord to be hospitalized or killed there. But you are still technically a minority shareholder, has the right to attend. And what do I do there? The Lord will appear, with lawyer, with witnesses, with evidence, and it will expose Lucas in front of all partners, investors, and employees of the company. He will report him for murder, theft, forgery. It will turn that room into court. The idea was bold, dangerous, but bright. They will try to stop me. They go. That's why we arrive with the police together, with the press together. It will be such a big scandal that even the judge will be able to drown out. And Gabriel, how do I protect him? Dr. Augusto thought for a moment. We ask for a protective measure, based on the risk he runs because he is a witness and being used by his parents in a crime. With luck, we were able to take the guard of them temporarily. I took a deep breath. It was risky, but it was the only chance. Let's do that. The next 3 days were the most intense of my life. Dr. Augusto worked day and night. He gathered the tests, prepared the documentation, contacted the delegate Mario Alves, convinced Dona Conceição to officially witness, got a court order for expertise in the medicines. I was hiding in the pastor's house. Lucas came to me everywhere. He turned on my cell phone dozens of times, sent threatening messages. Father, where are you? We need to talk. You're making a serious mistake. Come home. If you don't show up, I'll have to take drastic measures. I didn't answer any. I only kept everything as proof. Dona Noisa fed me, took care of me, prayed with me. Pastor Vinicius gave me spiritual strength. God is by your side, Roberto, he said. Justice may take time, but it always arrives. I wanted to believe it. On the 20s, I woke up at 5 in the morning. I showered, shaved, put on the best suit the pastor managed to lend me. I looked in the mirror and saw a different man. Older, more tired, but with something new in the eyes. Determination. Dr. Augusto caught me at 8. In the car, he revised the plan. The assembly starts at 10. We arrive at 10:15, when we already have everyone there. Delegate Mario will be waiting at the door with 2 police officers. 2 journalists I know will be there too, disguised as secretaries. Dona Conceição will be in the car, ready to enter if you need to witness on time. And Dr. Henrique, he didn't want to come, but signed a statement by admitting the bribe. It already helps. And Gabriel, social worker, is already on his way to the maternal grandmother's house. We'll remove the boy from there with court order. He will be in temporary shelter until we resolve this. My heart squeezed thinking about my scared grandson, not understanding anything, but it was to protect him. It's all right then. Okay, now it's with us, and with God. We arrived at the construction company's headquarters at 10:15. The building I built, the business I created from scratch, and that my son stole from me. Delegate Mario was at the door, a large black man, about 40 with the face of few friends. Mr. Roberto, he squeezed my hand tightly. Let's do justice today. We climbed together. Dr. Augusto, me, the delegate, and the 2 police officers. The journalists rose, separated by the stairs. The meeting room was crowded. About 20 men and women in suit with pastes talking, having coffee. And there at the head of the table, commanding everything like the owner of the world, was Lucas. When I entered, the silence was instantaneous. Lucas got white. He lifted from his chair in a jump. What are you doing here? I'm a shareholder of this company, I said firmly. I have the right to be here. Patricia, who was sitting next to him, stood up too, furiously. Someone takes this man from here. He's disturbing the order. No one will take anyone, Delegate Mario said, showing the police wallet. Delegate Mario Alves, I am here at the request of the Public Prosecution Service to ensure that this meeting will happen within the law. The shareholders were confused, looking at each other. What's going on here? One of them asked. Lucas, what's this story? Lucas tried to laugh but left nervous. Forced. It's a misunderstanding. My father he's going through a difficult time since my mother died. It's confused. There was an outbreak. We were trying to internal him to treat. I had no outbreak, I said loudly, and of course, and everyone looked at me. I discovered the truth. I found that my son murdered my wife. Gasps, whispers, shock. This is crazy, Patricia shouted. Do you see so? He's crazy. He's not crazy, Dr. Augusto said, opening the folder and taking documents. And we have proof. We have the ticket left by the victim, Mariana Santos, denouncing that she was being poisoned. We have adulterated remedies. We have WhatsApp conversations where Lucas threatens his own mother. We have the testimony of witnesses. We have the confession of the doctor who was bribed so as not to ask for autopsy. He began distributing copies of the shareholder documents. They read, shocked, horrified. Besides, Dr. Augusto continued, we have evidence that Lucas forged his father's signature in goods transfer documents, stole money from his personal accounts, and planned him illegally in a hospice to get everything. Lucas was pale like a ghost. This is a lie he's inventing. He wants to incriminate me because he does not accept that his mother died. So, explain that here. I took my cell phone and connected to the room projector. Explains the conversations you had with your mother. I put the messages on the screen. Everyone read. The room was deadly silent. Son, I saw you change the tablets. You won't tell you anything. You're confused. No one will believe in an old sick. One of the shareholders, a lady of about 60, began to cry. My God, this is monstrous. Lucas tried to turn off the projector, but the delegate stopped him. Get out the front. You don't understand, Lucas shouted, desperate now. My mother was suffering. She was sick. I just accelerated the process. Ready, he had confessed, in front of everyone. Patricia covered her mouth with her hands in shock. She knew Lucas had just surrendered. Lucas Henrique Santos, Delegate Mario said, taking off his handcuffs. You are arrested in the act for qualified murder, document falsification, misappropriation, and attempted private jail. No! Lucas tried to run, but the police held him. You can't do that, Patricia shouted. My father is judge. He will destroy you. Your father cannot do anything against recorded evidence, witnesses, and spontaneous confession, Dr. Augusto said calmly. And just for the record, we have 2 journalists here who recorded everything. This will be in the newspaper tomorrow. The 2 women who were disguised rose, showing the recorders. Patricia fell in the chair, defeated. Lucas was taken handcuffed, shouting, screaming that it was injustice, that it was a frame, but no one believed him, because everyone had seen the truth. After the police left Lucas, the shareholders stared at me. One of them, Mr. Mauricio, an old businessman who knew my story, approached. Roberto, I didn't know any of that. If I knew, I know. No one knew. Lucas was good at deceiving. What will happen to the company now? I looked at Dr. Augusto. He smiled. With the annulment of fraudulent documents, Roberto becomes the legal owner of 70% of the construction company. And Lucas, when convicted, loses any right on the equity, as it was acquired by crime. The shareholders started clapping for me. To the old bricklayer they had forgotten. I didn't want applause. I wanted justice. And finally, I had succeeded. I left that raised headroom. I went straight to the shelter where Gabriel was. When I entered, he ran to me and hugged me hard. Grandfather, I was scared. They said I had to stay here, but they didn't say why. I hugged my grandson and cried. I cried with relief, pain, love. It's okay now, my son. All good. You were very brave. Very. Saved the grandpa. Saved grandma's memory. Dad, he hurt the grandma. There was no way to hide. He deserved the truth. Yes, my love, he hurt. And now he will pay for what he did. Gabriel cried in my chest. He cried for the grandmother he loved. He cried for his father he lost, even if that father was never really good. Can I live with you now, Grandpa? He can. I will ask for guard from you, and we will start over, together. But when I got back to the car with Dr. Augusto, my cell phone rang. It was an unknown number. I answered. The voice on the other side froze my blood. Mr. Roberto Santos, here is Dr. Geraldo Menezes, father of Patricia. I think we need to talk, personally, tonight, at home, or I guarantee that the Lord never sees that grandson again, and hung up. The judge called me, the most powerful man in the city, the man who can make me disappear without a trail. Isn't the fight yet? Do even with all the tests, can he still turn this game against me? I hung up the phone with tremendous hands. The judge had summoned me, in his house, alone, tonight. Dr. Augusto saw my face and asked what it was. Patricia's father. Want to see me. He said that if I am not, I never see Gabriel again. Dr. Augusto was serious. Roberto, this man is dangerous. Don't go to this meeting alone. It can be a trap. What if it's the only way to protect my grandson? So we go together, with recorder, with witness, with everything. At 7 at night, we were in front of Judge Geraldo Menezes' mansion. A huge house with iron gate, impeccable garden, 3 luxury cars in the garage. Dr. Augusto had brought a tiny recorder that placed inside my jacket. Delegate Mario was in a car without identification at 1 block away, waiting for our signal. Anything, you press this button here in your pocket, Dr. Augusto explained. You will send a warning to the delegate. He enters the time. Okay, but you stay out here. If he sees me with a lawyer, he won't say anything. Roberto, trust me. I need to hear what this man has to say. I took a deep breath and touched the bell. An employee from Libre opened the gate and led me to a luxurious room. Everything there was expensive. Pictures, furniture, rugs. The smell was of power and money. Judge Geraldo Menezes was sitting in a leather armchair drinking whiskey. A man of about 65, white, totally gray hair, very expensive suit, cold look. Mr. Roberto Santos. He didn't even get up. Sit. I sat in the armchair in front of him. My heart beat hard, but I kept my stance erect. The Lord called me here, so talk. He took a sip his whiskey, analyzing me as if I were an insect. You have caused a problem today. Arrested my son, in-law in front of everyone. Humiliated my daughter. He launched the name of my family. Your son, in-law, murdered my wife. Stole everything I built. I was going to be hospitalized in a hospice. Yes, I know the whole story. He waved his hand, disinterested. Lucas is an idiot. A weak. Always has been. I don't know what my daughter saw in him. I was shocked by his coldness. Do you not care that he killed a person? People die every day, Mr. Roberto. What worries me is the scandal. It is the repercussion. It is the name Menezes being dragged in the mud. He leaned forward, his penetrating eyes. That's why I called you here, to make a civilized proposal. Proposal? You remove the complaint. He says it was all a misunderstanding. That you were shocked at the death of your wife and interpreted things wrong. Lucas leaves jail, and in return, he opened a briefcase on the table. It was full of money, packs and packs of grade of 100 reais, 500,000 reais. In sight, no taxes, no questions. You get it, buy a new house, live well the rest of your life, and never touch my family again. I looked at that money. It was more than I had put together in my life. It was the solution of all my financial problems. But I also looked at that man's hands. Clean, handicraft hands which never caught at all heavy. Hands that never really worked but bought everything, including justice. No. The judge blinked, surprised. How no? I don't accept your money. My wife is not for sale. Her memory is not for sale. And my dignity is not either. He closed the briefcase hard. You're making a serious mistake, Roberto. You don't know who you're messing with. I know exactly who I'm messing with. With a man who thinks money and power are above the law. Above God. God. He laughed contemptuously. You're one of those, right? Believer. Do you think God will protect you? I think the truth protects me, and the truth is that your son-in-law is a murderer. Your daughter is an accomplice, and you are trying to buy a witness, which is also a crime. His face turned red with anger. You recorded this conversation, didn't you? You son of a bitch. I didn't respond. I just looked into his eyes. He stood up, furious. It's okay. Do you want war? There will be war. I know everyone in this city, every judge, every prosecutor, every police officer. I will destroy you. I'm going to make you lose custody of your grandson. I will make you lose your company. I'll make you sleep in the street like a dog. You can try. But now everyone is watching. The press is watching. The public ministry is watching. You can't keep this down any longer. People will see. He threw the glass of whiskey against the wall, shattering everything. I pressed the button in my pocket, the warning signal for the delegate. I think I better leave. Go! Go and never come back. I left that house with my heart racing, but with my head held high. I had refused 500,000 reais, and for the first time in a long time, I felt truly rich. Rich in honor, rich in dignity, rich in justice. Some 2 weeks later, Lucas was formally indicted by the public prosecutor's office for qualified homicide, embezzlement, forgery of documents and embezzlement. Bail was denied. He would be detained until trial. Dr. Henrique lost the CRM due to unethical conduct. The clinic went bankrupt. He had to return the 20,000 reais, which went to a fund to support victims of medical negligence. Patricia tried to file for divorce from Lucas but was unable to get rid of the accusations. She was charged as an accomplice by omission and for having tried to threaten me with the knife. He lost his license to practice law. The surname Menezes, so powerful before, became synonymous with shame in the city. Judge Geraldo Menezes was investigated for attempted bribery. The recording we made was used as evidence. He retired for health reasons, but everyone knew it was to avoid impeachment proceedings. His empire collapsed. And me? I got everything back. The construction company went back to my name. The fraudulent documents were annulled. The stolen money was returned with corrections. The house remained mine. And most importantly, I got permanent custody of Gabriel. Today, 6 months after that funeral in the rain, I wake up early and make breakfast for my grandson. Gabriel is in the classroom doing homework, dressed in his school uniform. He still has nightmares sometimes. She still cries for her grandmother, but it's getting better. We go to therapy together every week. Grandpa, I finished my math homework. Can you see? Of course, my son. I sit next to him and check. It's all right. He was always intelligent, just like his grandmother. Congratulations, champion. You're too good at this. He smiles. That smile that brightens my day. Grandpa, can I ask something? He can. Do you feel angry with my father? The question takes me by surprise. I remain silent for a moment, thinking, no, Gabriel, I don't feel angry, but he did bad things. Very bad. He did. But anger doesn't bring Grandma back. Anger doesn't fix anything. What I feel is sadness. Sad because I raised him with so much love and he chose the wrong path. Was it my fault? His little eyes fill with tears. If I hadn't been born, if I hadn't given that note, I stop everything. I hug him tightly. Never think that. You are not to blame for anything. You saved Grandpa. You were brave. He was loyal. It was exactly what a grandson should be. True. He cries on my shoulder. I leave. Sometimes we need to cry to heal. On Sunday, I take Gabriel to church. Pastor Vinicius greets me with that warm hug he always does. How are you, my brothers? Getting better, Pastor. Day after day, Dona Noisa prepared a special lunch for us. We sat at the table in their house like a family, because in the end, family is not just blood. It's who stays by your side when everything falls apart. After lunch, I return home with Gabriel. He wants to fly a kite. I prepare the line, assemble the kite, and we go to the backyard. The wind is good. The kite rises high, colorful, free. Look, Grandpa, it's rising. That's right. Hold tight. Gabriel laughs. That laugh I hadn't heard in months, and at that moment, looking at the blue sky with my happy grandson by my side, I feel Mariana close. I feel like she is at peace, that she knows I kept her promise. Protect Gabriel. I did justice. I didn't let them win. At night, after Gabriel sleeps, I go to the room and open the drawer where I keep Mariana's things. It has old photos, letters, the ticket she left. I take the ticket. I read again for the 100th time. Don't let them win. I love you. I always loved it. They didn't win, love. Whisper. You won. The truth won. And now Gabriel is safe. I promise I will take care of him as we always took care. With love, with respect, with honor. I keep the ticket back. I leave the light. I lie on the bed where she died, where I almost gave up, where it all started. And for the first time since that horrible day, I sleep in peace. If there is one thing I learned from all this is that real family is not the one who has his blood. It is the one who has his heart. Luke was my son of blood, but I didn't have my heart. He chose money, power, greed, chose to kill to have more, and lost everything. Gabriel is my grandson of blood and heart, and it will grow differently. It will grow knowing which character is worth more than bank account, what truth is worth more than a convenient lie, what love is worth more than any wealth of this world. I spent 63 years in this land. I carried brick in the sun. I got scaffold in the rain. I cut my hands dirty roughly. I was humiliated, stolen, betrayed by his own son, but I'm still here, standing, firm, worthy. Because in the end, what matters is not what they take from you. This is what they cannot take away. Their faith, their honor, their ability to love. Mariana taught me that. She faced death alone, scared, but left a note. Left the truth, because she knew that the truth sooner or later always wins, and won. Today, when I look in the mirror, I see an old, tired man with gray hair and deep wrinkles, but I also see a free man, lies free, free from guilt, free of people who just want to use you, and I see a man who still has a lot to live, that still has a grandson to create, that still has works to build, that still has love to give. Lucas is stuck, waiting for trial. Patricia is destroyed, no career, no family. The judge is retired to force without power, but I don't feel joy with their misfortune. I just feel relief. Relief that justice was done, that Mariana can rest in peace. If you are listening to me now and have gone through something like, know one thing, don't give up. No matter how many times they humiliate you, no matter how many times you say you're old, you are stupid, you are unable. It doesn't matter if it's son, daughter, in-law, boss, or judge, the truth always wins. Justice may take time, but it arrives. And in the end, when you are standing and they are so fallen, you will feel something that money does not buy, peace of mind. Mariana, wherever you are, thanks. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for leaving me that note. You saved your own memory, and saved our grandson. I love you. I will always love, and I promise that I will honor your name until the last day of my life. Winkinkamin, and Indao, final lesson. True family is not measured by blood, but by character, and justice is not revenge. It is true overcoming the lie. It is light by overcoming the darkness. In the end, what remains is not the money we bring together, but the love we plant and the dignity we preserve.